probably should have done some outro for the other part. Oh, well, here we are. Actually, you know what? I'll just do the outro. No, fuck it. We're going straight. It's happening. It's a thing. Just roll with it, Marcus. Let's talk about Impact. Overall thoughts on the show before we get to the match by match. Blow by blow.
Yeah, man, I dug it. I think we talked about last week was by no means must see, but it did have some very rewatchable parts that we kind of named out. But I thought this show was an improvement. Obviously, we're steamrolling towards Slammiversary. I think what on the 17th that is. So
I think.
yeah, that's a Saturday. Yeah, I think it's that day. So things are gearing up, man. Alliances are being formed, new enemies being made. Certain people are splitting ways, so everything's getting mixed up in some very entertaining proportions as it has.
So let's start with the first match. It was a damn good one. It's supposed to be Kojima versus Edwards, which is making me think that Kojima Edwards is going to be at Slammiversary. Because, like, why else wouldn't you do it at Slammiversary? Eddie didn't come out. I don't remember if they revealed why he didn't come out, but it was kind of alluded to, at least I think it was, that it was Violent by Design that took him out. No, wait, was I right about that? No.
Let's go back to it for a second. That was
Because it was alluded to that it was W. Morrissey who took it out.
yeah, because he teamed with Jake something.
Kojima took on Brian Myers and Sam Beal in a tag match with
Yeah.
Jake something as Kojima's tag team partner. This was a fun little match.
hmm
I love Kojima. And of course, every time we bring up Satoshi Kojima on the show, we got to think about CM Punk telling the Homicide story, where he pretended to be Homicide and pranked Gabe Sapolsky in his awesome Homicide voice, talking about Kojima, Lariat, All Japan. It's great. Jake something wrestles like he is from All Japan, and I love his look. He looks like a big, dumb, burly, big guy, and I like that look. My lone complaint about Jake something, what do you think it is?
Is it the look?
Nope, I like the look. I like
Oh,
I like the thigh taping. Like that's great.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah, because you brought this up when it first the name, right? Something.
Yup.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
Jake
don't
something.
mind it when you say it's like Jake something. Ah, that sounds pretty good. The problem came, and I noticed it mostly with D'Lo, where he would use his last name, but he would use it almost as like a descriptive in a sentence. He'd be like, "Something's got to give," or "Something's really turning up the heat." And I'm like, if you're doing this on purpose, D'Lo, I'm gonna smack the shit out of your bald head. Like, are you saying something or something as in the name? Like which one is it, ass? It's confusing me, and I hate it. But I like him. I think he's great. Sam Beal, he's getting his ass kicked. You got to give it to him, though. Kojima gets the win with, I think it was a clothesline.
Yeah, man, like you say, a fun little match, man. That I never get tired. I've yet to tired of seeing his black hole slam. Um, and Kojima's absolute legend. Love seeing this run he's having an impact, getting the most out of it. So fun stuff. I will never tire of watching Brian Miles take an L, and I think Sam Beal, like I said, has made him more dear to me because Sam Beal is just making that whole thing cool. Yeah.
He's their Colin Delaney. He's there to get his ass kicked.
hmm
We were getting some hype with the Knockout Tag Team division. Havoc and Rosemary are getting back together. Then, of course, the next match saw us with Rachel Ellering versus Tennille Dashwood. I don't really think the outcome mattered so much. Ellering gets the win, but it's the post-match stuff that really kind of sold the moment, where Jazz and Jordan Grace both make their way down at different points in the festivities of the match. And eventually Rachel and Jordan are able to hug it out with Jazz at the center. Now, there's a part of me that thinks that Havoc and Rosemary, you got, is it Fire and Desire, or is that
Fine flavor.
Fire and Flavor? Who's Fire and Desire? Because that's something.
Tina, Tina Marie and Rick James.
What is that? 70s or early 80s soul music?
Yeah, Rick James dot bitch. Yeah, Rick James.
Fuck. Like I used to listen to that stuff all the time when my grandmother was driving me around to go to school, but like I didn't think I'd pull that one back from the past.
Speaking of, I love Jazz, but she really did look like the mom that came down to school for to whoop the kid's ass who touched the baby when she was throwing hands on throwing hands on Tennille.
I don't even mind that though. Like
Yeah,
if Jazz is going to be working with Impact in this on-screen, probably behind-the-scenes role as well, like I love that. Like, give me more of that. So yeah, Fire and Flava. You got
yeah,
Havoc and Rosemary. You have Rachel and Jordan. Plus, they're really hyping the return, and not really hyping the return, but they're dropping some obvious references that Chelsea Green is coming back. They're doing an Impact in 60 where she's the centerpiece. They've put like a video on YouTube of like some of her greatest moments, and it's like, I don't know,
great,
kid. I don't
greatest
know.
one.
Greatest
Yes,
moment.
we'll,
Singular.
we'll get back to our regular scheduled knockouts narrative coming off that. You think it's a long con with Jordan?
Yes. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm glad that, yes, because that was the other point I was going to make about the Jordan Rachel stuff. I do think this is a long con. Because they do have Kimberly and Sue. So like they are developing some tag teams, but they also are getting kind of thin in the singles division.
Yeah,
So I could very much see Jordan turning heel. But what are they going to do with Taylor Wilde? You know, like what are they going to do with Deanna Prazzo? Like there's a lot of hanging chads out there, if you will. That's a 2000 election joke right there. Do you think they're doing a long con with Jordan?
yeah, because I don't know if that. I mean, obviously, I agree with you that they needed to redeem that just horrendous segment from last week. That was just it was unnecessarily long, but yeah, I don't feel like they would have touched on that with Jordan if they wasn't going to eventually pull it. Because what's more terrifying than that woman being like having the attitude of Tessa when she first came in, just going down after everybody?
Not much.
I mean, that's the one thing I feel like that's why she's been racking up them L's is because of hesitation. You don't hesitate when you're looking to kill something, you know. You got that killer instinct, and you know that's a very beautiful, ferocious looking woman. And if she turns it up, because I actually was waiting for something to happen here, and they
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it. I feel like they long calling it. Now they could just let it go and potentially let them get the tag straps, but I see more worth and eventually pulling it with Jordan because, like you said, it does multiple things. It separates this and it gets her back on track um, to the Knockouts title, but it also gets a singles out there and it gets um, her going back after Parazzo, but in a different vein, you know. So
They need to do something different with Rachel. She's a decent hand, but her charisma is lacking. I know this is going to be cliche and like on the nose, but bring her father in and let her be like the chick warrior or the road bitch or something. Give her some face paint, have her matches go 90 seconds, and just like put her fucking over. Like she needs something to stand out because like after that 38-minute dog walk promo from last week, I am not high on Rachel. Like, yeah, you can give me 8 minutes in the ring, don't get me wrong, but you can't give me 8 seconds on the mic, sweetheart. Like, wait, come on. Come on. Okay, need to say this. Chris Bay's front hair thing, I love it. The reverse mullet, I love it.
yeah, this dude, yeah, yeah, Bay don't miss. Yeah, Bay, even when he's not the center of attention, he gets, he always grabs himself a moment. I love it.
So we'll come back to Bay here in a second. We had a tag team match, and it didn't go anyone's way because it was TJP and Volleyball versus Swan and Mac, and then all of a sudden, Violent by Design came down maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes in and just wrecked shop. Now I'm thinking to myself, are they building up to a 4-on-4? Are they going to do a multi tag team match at Slammiversary? Like, wait, what's like who's in play here? because Kojima and Edwards wanted a shot, and they got their shot, and they blew their shots. Are they still in play? I doubt it, because they're probably going to face off with each other or with Morrissey or something. I wouldn't be surprised if Enzo debuted at Slammiversary in a tag team match with Morrissey against Eddie Edwards and Kojima. Just throwing that one out there.
Does Morrissey still got Saban lined up, right?
No. Moose is saving it at Slammiversary.
Oh yeah, that's he attacked Moose. Gotcha. Got my big man mixed up. But yeah, I mean it's cool to see Swan and Mac, back tagging. I definitely dig them as a tag team. Definitely always been a fan of Bar. I'll accept TJ is having to come with him. And Violent by Design, man, they moving, so they setting standards with that thing. I like how Rhino is doing that gore from point blank range now.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
that reminded me. Oh no, we'll get there. We haven't missed it yet, but yes, this was a spear heavy show. We'll just put it like that. So I don't know what they're doing with the tag titles. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing something with Swan and Mac and the tag titles. It's kind of like a weird thing because I want Violent by Design to have a longer run, and not just a longer run, but a more impactful run with the belts. But on the other hand, I want Mac and Swan to get them belts.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe don't put Swan and Mac in this match. I don't know what you do then. I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a good problem to have because, like you said, I also want Bar to get a win, but it's like Bar, got to lose the ball and chain. But
Bar doesn't need wins. He's Bar. We'll roll with Fala. He's been with the company for a while now. What is it? 5 years?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we've gone from him being the monster, big dude, to slimming down and talking full English. So
what was his tag team partner? Do you remember Boko Haram? No, that's not right. Boko Raton.
Sorry, I was just finna say that. Boko, it was Boko something. It was something. I think it was a bigger dude, but yeah, he kind of.
It was Eastern European name.
Yeah.
Pakaraban. Popo Shisho.
It sounds like the name of somebody that kidnapped one of Liam Neeson's daughters in his movie.
Which I have is a very specific set of skills.
and at this point, he has no coup about it. So I don't care about your damn skills. You killed all of my cousins.
And I'm not even talking about the guilty ones. I mean Javier. There was George, Hanson. They were just playing pinochle. Mario Bokara.
Yeah.
I wasn't that far off. Yeah, he hasn't wrestled since 2019, so maybe he's done. Fire and Flava are not happy about Rosemary, and just have it coming for them. Respect to that. Tommy Dreamer cuts a promo about his team, hinting at issues. Bay's front hair has now been changed into ponytails. Is that not ponytails? Side tails? Side ponies? Side ponies. Handlebar ponytails. And they're not good. You said he never misses, Marcus, but he missed on that one. This was a fun match. Let's move on from Eric Young. Fun match. Sabin versus Bay. Bay gets the win. Villains come down to the ring. Rohit just looking suave as shit. Mahabali. Then you had Tattooed Morrissey.
Tattooed Morrissey. You're like, it's Austin and his pet.
Basically, it's design your own Morrissey.
It's Damien in the big red furry thing.
Oh God. So yeah, they come down. They beat up P.D. Williams, which is just rude. Then Josh Alexander and Trey Miguel come down to try to even the odds. The bad guys get the advantage. Then Chris Bay turns face. Didn't see that one coming. And drops some fools. And then, yeah, that's how the segment ends. Mark is Bay a face. He's a feinace.
No, man. Shout out to Trey Miguel tweeted, Baby face? Like, no,
Babyface.
that I'll leave. Don't worry, I'll leave.
I love it. No, I love it. That's great. Babyface. I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah, man, it was cool to see, man. Yeah, like you said, they got that for, and Bay is on the side. I mean, and again, because of his character, because of how he's always playing things, it could be the long con finesse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's he's Bay face for now,
Babyface.
and when it no longer suits his narrative, he'll switch back. But I feel like he's always playing the hand that suits him best, not the friendship thing or anything, because he's always told people who he was and showed them what he was about. So he's still the captain of finesse, and the finesse is coming. So, but it was cool to see him come down and show up and show out like that, and the fact that he could do the babyface thing, so.
Where's he billed from? Bluffington? Wasn't his full name before he came to Impact Bebe Bluff? Douglas, my friend, how are you? It's very expensive. Dude, Doug needs a revival and not that shitty ass Disney revival. Oh, let's give Doug some long sleeves and some inexplicably baggy ass shorts because that's what all the kids are rocking. Ugh, they made Roger a millionaire and they made BB. God damn, I was going to do it and ironically call her Baby Bluff. They gave Baby Bluff the poorhouse.
That's how they gonna Lola Bunny Doug.
Oh no! No, don't do that. Don't no. Although I'm not really like, I don't know. I'm always about like live your best life and do your thing. But man, furries need to be drowned.
Furries need to be drowned. You're not wrong.
They call it yiffing. Why? Why?
Yiffing?
Yeah. It's when they're in their costumes and they Marvin Gaye it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Let's get it on. Speaking of getting it on, Kimberly's like, hey, should we call Sue Young up? And Susan's like, who? Sue who?
I 100% channel Tommy Lee Jones from Batman Forever. Yes. So happy, Dad. Like, finally, get this damn lawyer off my TV. She sucks.
She's not even a lawyer. She's a fucking Susan, which is I'm guessing the Korean version of a Karen, I guess.
Yeah, it's a Korean Karen. There's no fear here, just sheer incompetence.
Then we get Jake something challenging Brian Myers to a match with Brian Myers accepts, which is dumb. Then we get my favorite moment of the show, not because it was a great match, but because Steve Macklin straight up murders a man on television and doesn't get arrested. So he took on a guy named Manny Smith, which might be my favorite terrible like jobber name ever, Manny Smith. So you're a Hispanic white dude with the two most common names in both cultures. Sure. Works for me. I like Macklin. I like this whole, like, don't touch me, I'm angry. He's like a Ken Shamrock circa 1997, so I dig that. He sets up Manny Smith in the corner, Marcus, and fucking decides to go whole ham hock on poor Manny and dog walks him into oblivion by breaking him half with an inverted trio spear. And like sometimes when you see it, like the guys will like drop to their side first and like make contact, side to stomach, or they'll drop to their knees and like plow through, kind of like they're playing like they're an elephant with a baby, like no, like he went airborne and straight into this dude's abdomen. And I'm just sitting here going, that's your finisher. What are you doing? That's your finisher. So. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Macklin now. What'd you think of the match, specifically the Trio Spear?
No, it's good, man. It's that good. It's that type of ruthless aggression that you look for, and that sit down slam you does. That's a good exclamation point. So I'm looking forward to seeing, like, it'll be cool to see him. And obviously, you don't run two hills into each other traditionally, but it'll be fun to see him running somebody like Morrissey down the line. Just the hallway. Like, if you don't get your big oily behind out of my way, and then just like a smackdown ensues. So um, it'll be interesting seeing what it is. Also, I like that he got a inverted, like a modified Olympic slam. One of
Yeah,
my favorite moves. So you know.
that's pretty dope. I dug that. He's developing a nice little moveset, and the thing I love about what they're doing with Macklin is this is the same stuff they did with Moose. This is the same thing that WB did with Ryback. Jobbers are there for a reason, people. Use them. Abuse them. Macklin is defining who he is with these jobbers because everyone knows that there's no chance that he's going to lose. So he gets to work his character out in these matches, which will help set him up for other matches where maybe he doesn't have time to do the character work. This is why Ryback got over. It wasn't because Ryback was super talented. It wasn't because he was a big, bald muscle guy. It was because people got time to know what he was capable of and were like, oh, I can't wait to see this in bigger doses. This shit works, people. It just does. And no one of consequence is eating losses on this one. I think about when OVE debuted as a stable against LAX. Like, you have what will end up being your hottest group in some time taking on what will be your newest group in some time in a series of violent matches that you both need wins on. Like, it was a great feud, don't get me wrong. Especially that barbed wire massacre match. Jesus Christ. But on the other hand, both of those teams needed some wins before they ever got to each other. So it's like, I don't know. So I think I like what they're doing with Macklin. I do. Main event time, Marcus, for one show. Omega and the Good Brothers versus Moose, Sabin, and Callihan. I will say this. It was a fine match. It's more the story elements that I think people should tune in for, not necessarily the match itself, which is fine. Like, I've never been one of those guys like, it's not 5 stars. I don't think it matters then. I think this whole a really nice little story. Moose and Sabin couldn't get along. Callahan was very much trying to right the ship and get them on the same page, showing flashes of his OVE leadership skills, which I guess may be why he couldn't keep them together. They eventually broke down. There's a great scene where Sabin goes for the tag and Moose walks away. And then Moose later on tags Sabin and throws Sabin to the wolves. And Callahan gets knocked to the floor, and he can't get in time to save Sabin. I don't know why Sabin and Moose are necessarily feuding. Like, I don't know why someone's like, let's go with that feud. But like, I'm liking what they're doing with it at least, and I like what Callahan is becoming in this feud with Omega. And they even posted this side by side shot of like all of Omega's like best bout machine, 60 plus minutes, and like all these like accolades and nicknames. And then with Callahan, it was not the hero we want, but the hero we need, or something like that. And I was like, that's very quintessential. And they did a great job in this match as well with hyping the idea of Kenny being afraid of Callahan's violence. Like, it's not that he's afraid of Callahan on a talent level. It's that Callahan is a violent human being who does not kind of bend to the the normalcy of wrestling in a ring. So like, there's a lot going on in this match that I think transcends just the actual action, and I think is worth a watch. What about you
No,
think?
man. No, I'm right there with you, man. Everything you said, I'm spot on the money. Like, it's something to be said for a opponent you can watch days of film on and still not be able to plan for. Because at the end of the day, he could say screw the match, get a baseball bat, and damn it take you out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, and that whole thing with like, and it's funny because if we go back a year or maybe a little bit more than that, between Moose and Callahan, it's the inverse. Moose may be the guy that's trying to rattle the troops from a
Mm-hmm.
certain perspective. Callahan's such a wild card, he doesn't give a damn. All he cares about is his goal, his narrative. Now you got Callahan actually trying to rally people when normally he's the truest agent of chaos the company has, but he's not. And now you got Moose who only has one goal, one narrative, one point, and that's that title around Omega's shoulder. He isn't had this grand plan to topple and get back at Don Callis and none of that, or put the company on his shoulders, even though that's what comes with it. He wants what he think he's overdue for, and he's not gonna play ball. And what I guess he views as a meaningless match on the way to that, because in his mind he's been delayed on it enough, So
I really think that we're getting some great storytelling with Omega and Callahan. So,
yeah,
thumbs up. All right, this will be the end of Making an Impact. Be sure to tune in for more wrestling content action. RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. From Marcus Green, I'm Chad. We're moving on down the line. If you're listening live, it's time for Lucha Look Back. If you're listening on YouTube, you got to wait a day. Actually, 2 days, because this is going up Tuesday night. Then the Newsy thing that we did is going up Wednesday. And then Thursday is Lucha Look Back. I think. The order's right. The days I'm not sure on. Maybe Impact will go up Wednesday, which is tomorrow. And then News Thursday, and then Friday.
But she also again always look forward to the wrestler and the Woman Crush Weekly, you know.
I'm making you pick them this week. My brain is burnt.
Okay.
I was gonna be like Harmony. Nope, can't go with her. She's a different kind of breed. I mean, I could. I mean, it's my fucking website. I can do what the fuck I want. Stay tuned for Lucha Look Back coming in a day or two, or maybe right now, depending on how you're listening. Let's see. We'll go at 105. 105 is a good time. We're going down. You were yelling timber. No, it's going to be in your head, too. Lucha Look Back time. It is episode